Hi, I'm Tim. I'm on a journey to go to a ton of parks in the Boston area and rate them. And I am here in Brookline, starting that at the Fairbanks Street stop on the T. The first park I'm going to go to is that way, and I'm going to walk there in a second and see how it is. It is a Wednesday, it's September 10th, and it's kind of in the evening, in case that matters for how busy it is. And yeah, so I'm gonna go up there, gonna go walk there, see how it is, and gonna go to a few parks today. I will do this by grading using a 5x5 system. That's 5 categories with 5 points each. What are the 5 categories? There's 4 A's and a P. First is access, that's how easy is it to get here. Second is area, how safe is the neighborhood, and do I feel comfortable being here? Third is ambiance. That's going to be how beautiful is the park, how nice is the park, things like that. Fourth is amenities. That's what sort of features are here, like bathrooms or benches or paths. And lastly is preference, which is just how much I personally like the park. That helps balance things out from paper to reality. And with those 5 categories, like I said, there'll be 5 points each. There'll be a quarter point scale, which makes it easy to give a grade out of 100. Really nice little staircase going up towards the street. The thing that's really cool about Brookline is they do actually have these paths. Like, here's the road. Now I want to go up there, so I can actually, there's a pathway up there. This isn't just a thing for this park. It's a thing for a lot of places, or just roads in general in Brookline, that they have these paths that like climb the hills while the road's wide up there, which is really cool. This one's actually pretty wide. And here is the second path. These are really interesting because if you look at Brookline on a map, you can see all these roads that swirl back and forth. And in fact, these paths make them so much more pedestrian accessible. And also it's just very cool architecturally, and the whole city's like built into them. I wonder if these came before or after this development, these modern roads and houses and such. It is going to be a bit of a climb. It's definitely going to have to consider that for access. It's probably been about 8-9 minutes since I got off the train. Almost there. It's a bit of a climb just to do the stairs straight up. It's like in 3 separate staircases. I probably could have avoided one of them. Also, if anyone's wondering why I have this bruise here, I'm okay. I just got my wisdom teeth out recently. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Just has a little bruising. It's fine. So it's at Quarry Hill Playground, and here's what I think about it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a very nice, cozy park, not too far from the T. I think it's going to be a 3.5 for access. And the reason I say that is because it is a decent ways from the T, but at the same time, it's still very walkable. Like, it's only a 10-minute walk for me. I walk a little fast though. So it's a 10-minute walk. It's very walkable, even though it's uphill, which does kind of suck a little bit, but it's very nice. It's a very cozy park. For area, I mean, this is a beautiful part of the city. I love this part of the city. I feel very comfortable here. It's a very quiet park, very cozy, neighborly. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this part of the city, in my opinion, and I give it a 5, hands down, without question in my mind. 5 for area, which is going to be probably one of the easiest to get a 5 on of the 5 categories. It's a 5x5 system. So I give it a 5 for area. For ambiance, I'd go with a 4.25. That seems to me like a good value here. It's really great. I don't think it'll get old. They have some really nice views. There's a really nice part where you can look out over the city, and the hills of it make it a very pretty park. I don't think it compares to vast vistas, but for a small, cozy park that's kind of tucked in with a lot of trees, it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think it gets much better than that. And looking out over that hill towards the city, where there's a little gap in the trees, you can see it. That's just perfect right there. And I think 4.25 is a very fair rating, and a good rating for ambiance for Quarry Hill Playground. And then there's amenities. There's a ton of amenities in this park. It's a Brookline park, which should not surprise me. There's a ton of amenities. Aside from classics like water fountain, there's also plenty of benches and a decent number of paths. Not as many as you might like in a park, but the fact that there's hills kind of makes up for that, and that's more of a unique feature. And here, the unique features absolutely dominate for this park. They have hammocks, which is absolutely crazy. They have picnic tables, benches. They have a very interesting door thing, which is very pretty, very artistic. In addition to a very nice playground, which has a somewhat unique rock themed architecture to it, and also has some presumably fitness-y things. I could not make out what they were, but it's absolutely full of almost all the amenities you could ever want in a park. And so for that reason, I'm going to give it a 4.75 for amenities. And lastly is personal preference. I think it's a absolutely gorgeous park. I love it a ton. I think it doesn't quite rise to the level of some of the other parks in the city, but I love it. For a small park, it's amazing. It would be a cozy place to go, and I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. This all, by the way, totals up for Quarry Hill Playground to 22 out of 25 as a final grade, which is an 88, which is a B plus on a normal grading scale. This isn't a normal grading scale. That's, I imagine, really, really good for a park. So that's Quarry Hill Playground, an 88. And so now we're on to the next park, and we'll see what comes there. Hopefully I'll get in 3 today, and we'll see how these Brookline Sea Branch parks compare. We are crossing back over the Fairbanks Street stop to make it to Griggs Park, which is the next park I want to go to here in Brookline. And that is a park I've actually been to before. And last time I was there, it was actually pretty busy in the evening. So here I am at the stop, and it's probably about 7 by now. So I'd anticipate this park being very busy, but we'll see. One thing I don't like as much is that this is a very busy road to cross to get to Griggs Park from the T-stop, whereas before it was a much less busy road to cross. Although I don't think it's a huge penalty because there are lights, as you can see. Also, this is worth mentioning, while it is a short walk from the Sea Branch, the bus does actually stop here nearby. I feel like that's an important caveat to add to accessibility. It's actually close to the T by bus too. Also, absolutely worth mentioning, Griggs Park is definitely closer to Brandon Hall than Fairbanks Street, but I'm coming from Fairbanks Street. And even still, it seems like it's still gonna be like a 5-minute walk. So really close to the T, which is nice, even if it is the street portion of the Green Line. And indeed, 5 minutes later, here we are at Griggs Park in Brookline. So here at Griggs Park, there's really just one big circular path which goes around. There's like one picnic table here, but it's mostly spaced out benches. This feels like a park that's much more designed for being calm and relaxed rather than social, where you can just sit on a bench alone and look out into this beautiful green space in the middle, which you can also venture into. I can hear a lot of crickets right now, which it is evening. I think that also speaks to just how nice and green it is and how quiet and peaceful it is here, which I think is a lot of the appeal of this park. A lot of dogs, good amount of space for dogs to run around in, but I think this park is definitely tailored to be more of a calm, peaceful experience than a social one. So I just left Griggs Park. It's very nice. I have a fond attachment to it, which is kind of giving it away a little bit on the preference side. In terms of access, it's pretty easy to access. It's like a 5-minute walk from Fairbanks Street, probably a little less from Brandon Hall. It's a little complicated to get here. It's not as straightforward, but it is very pedestrian friendly. It's a tough call. I'm going to give it a 4.25 instead of a 4.5. So a 4.25 for access. That'll bring us to the area, which is a clear 5. It's basically the same place as Quarry Hill Playground. Very nice here in Brookline. Love it. Absolutely comfortable. Absolutely love being here. 5 all the way. For ambiance, I feel like the views aren't quite as special as Quarry Hill Playground, or special in general. It's kind of in the middle of a pit, so you can't get any like broad vistas, even like through trees. So it's going to take a little bit of a hit there. Additionally, it is nice to see that little forest area in the middle, which you can sit at. It has a very nice ambiance. You can hear wildlife a lot. So it is a good place, especially to just sit and breathe or sketch or read. So I'm going to give it a 3.25 for ambiance. For amenities, this gets a little tricky. It has good basic amenities. It has a water fountain, has trash cans, has a good number of benches, not many picnic tables, but does have a playground, which is something for sure. It's not a tiny playground either, although it is standard relative to, say, Corey Hill Playground, which is very unique, very nice. It has a basketball court, but it's practically unusable as a basketball court unless you just want to like shoot, which is fine. It's something. It has a decent amount of space to like run around in. Has that thing in the middle, like I said, the green area, and a lot of benches. But it's nothing too special amenity-wise, so I'm going to go with 3.25, especially because it only has that one path circling around. There's not a lot of intermediary paths, although you can go off on the dirt. And there's a nice little fire pit, which is kind of cool. So 3.25 for amenities. And that leaves personal preference. Now, my personal preference of this place is definitely going to be high. Like, it's probably irrationally high. And that's part of what preference is. It's how much do I like it. I like a calm place to sit, to relax, to breathe, to just be. And I'm going to give it 4.5. It also has a special place in my heart because it was one of my favorite parks when I went to all the T-stops. And I actually went to Griggs Park when I did Brandon Hall, as it turns out. And so it has a special place to me in my heart. I like it. I have a great impression of it. And so I'm going to give it 4.5 for preference. Same as Corey Hill Playground, even though a lot of the objective metrics have it as worse. So 4.5 for preference. And that will mean that there's a grand total of 20.25 points, which is 81.25 when you convert it to a 100-point scale. So that's still pretty darn good. Preference definitely helps a lot. Area helps a lot. And we'll see that with these different scales as we go on, that even one metric being super high, especially if two, can really boost things a lot. So we'll have to see what happens next. I might try and go to a third park today. We'll see. I decided against going to a third park today, just based on time, what time of day it is, light, all that. I think it'd be much better if I give it a more full review with a more full analysis. So we got 2 parks done today on the C branch in Brookline, and I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Thank you for coming with me to these 2 parks. I hope you join me next time as I continue to take a walk in the Boston parks.